This has become the most familiar away ground for City fans. That's why they call it Etihad South. And it's always sunny on cup final day. It only seems 5 minutes ago since I was down here for the semi-final. And of course we already know that City will be back here in early August in the Community Shield. But will it be against today's rivals United or Arsenal, who will run us up in the Premier League? All depends on today's result. But either way, it's a busy day for me. I'll be down on the touchline covering the game as well for Sony TV India, but also doing the vlog as usual and trying to capture some of the atmosphere and give you an idea of what it's like here. And obviously you can see the arch there behind me. So who will I bump into? Who will I see? Who knows? Here we are then at Wembley. Nervous, confident, where are you?
Always a bit nervous, but still, what do we think, Mark?
I think it's too tough to call. I think the derby game could go either way, I think, irrespective of form. And so, yeah, I'm also a bit nervous today.
What sort of team do you think he's going to pick? Is he going to go with his strongest, do you think?
I think he'll pick what we expect, which would be definitely Ortega in goal. Stones will play, Rodri will play, Grealish will play, KDB will play. I don't think there'll be much of a change, to be honest. It'd be nice to see Foden come on at some point, though, because he's just such a City fan. We need to see him.
And I think Haaland will play.
And obviously this means a lot. If you had to choose one or the other, it's an awful question, but would it be today or would it be next Saturday?
Next Saturday, Champions League.
So you could stomach it today if we win next week?
Well, I didn't say that, but if there were a preference, it would be the Champions League.
Are you the same?
No, we're having both.
But if I made you choose one or the other?
Both.
Good answer.
Yeah, no, it's going to be both, I think. I'm confident. So bring it on, City. Come on.
I'm thinking if we turn up, we'll beat up 3 or 4-0.
That confident?
I am, yeah. And he said we're fully fit squad, so he's got everything to pick on it. It'd be fantastic to beat these 3-4-0 here, wouldn't it?
What does this mean to you? A Manchester Derby FA Cup final? You've obviously been watching City a long time. You've got a retro shirt on.
54 years season ticket, long time. Seen all sorts of rubbish as well, haven't we? But beating these here is fantastic. It's like the FA Cup semi-final in 2011 when we beat them. I've never felt as good coming out of a stadium beating them 1-0. Fantastic.
I heard somebody say the other day that, in fact it might have been last night on the TV, a City fan said this is the biggest Manchester derby ever, and I thought no, this is the third biggest, because I thought the Vincent Kompany header 2012 and the semi-final that you'd mentioned were actually bigger than this. This is big,
yeah,
but both of those were bigger, weren't they?
That's right, yeah, I think so, yeah, because it led us on to big things, didn't it? This is a prelude to next Saturday as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So fantastic time for us. I'm not going next week. I just think it'd be a lot of hassle and cost, so I'm not bothering. So that's the way it is. You're going, aren't you?
I'll be going. Well, does this mean more to you than next Saturday then?
No, next Saturday is everything. For the club and everything, for the team. We have to win it, don't we? We have to win it. If we don't win it, we're just as classed as also rats. And so we've got to win it.
So if you had to choose, it'd be next week?
There's no choice.
Not when you're here.
No, we'll win them both. I want to win them both. We will win them both. I'm feeling confident we'll win them both. All the vibes coming out of the team, the manager, the club is good. We want to beat these today. We haven't got a chance, have they? We're the best team in England, without doubt. And we need to be the best team in Europe. And we will be that next Saturday as well. I'm quite sure of that. Me and our kid have been coming a hell of a long time. We're due it, we're here, won it. Fantastic. Trophy with the big ears, as they all say. Got to be ours, hasn't it?
So it seems like 5 minutes ago you scored that winner here, and here we are, FA Cup final against United.
And I don't know about 5 minutes, Ian, 24 years ago, so it was great. Yeah, looking forward to today. Actually, nice and relaxed about today. I think
You're not nervous then?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think. Look, they've had a decent season. But we've been phenomenal. And I look at both squads, I look at both teams, and if we play anywhere near what we can, even if they're at their best, we'll win.
I've asked a few fans whether they prefer to win this today against the old enemy or next week.
Both.
Both. That's what everybody says.
Yeah. Well, you want to win today. It's United, and you know this team, this club at the minute wants to make history. First Manchester FA Cup final. So whoever wins today will go down in history, and it's going to be Manchester City.
And which would you like to play today?
Oh, I wouldn't get in the team, mate. I'll probably get sent off after 2 minutes as well.
Enjoy your day.
Cheers.
Big derby, isn't it, Ian? Probably, I'd argue the biggest derby of my life so far. So I turned 30 this year, so to win the treble, 3, 1 for each 10 years of my life, is unbelievable.
I've just suggested that to somebody else that this isn't the biggest derby, that actually it's the 3rd biggest derby after the Vincent Kompany header on the way to winning the league in 2012 and the semi-final here, which was a bit of a turning point. Do you think this is bigger than them?
The thing is, if we'd have lost the derby back in 2011 in the semi-final, we wouldn't speak about it the way we speak about it now, so we'd just dismiss it and say, oh, it's one to forget. So it's not one to forget now because we won it 1-0 and Yaya scored, then we beat Stoke in the final 1-0 and won our first trophy in 34 years. So we speak about it highly now. Of course, the Vinny Kompany one was a tetchy evening. I remember turning up that night really nervous. Vinny eased all of our nerves when he bulleted it home. South Stand End, brilliant scenes. And of course, they were the bigger derbies now, reflecting on them. But in terms of on the way to a treble, to not just equal but do it better than they did it back in '99 for me, makes this the bigger derby out of the 3 of them. That's without me reflecting too much on what they would or could have meant. This is massive to me, being down here with Jess, being at this derby, being at Wembley, being here with, however many Blues we're going to have here this afternoon. We have around 40 plus thousand, maybe. So it's huge, and it's the 2nd of 3. So let's get this done this week. Let's get next weekend boxed off as well. Let's get that treble done, and then, like I said to you, we're getting in your car or one from our RG group. We're going to drive past Old Trafford with flags waving and do what they did to us back in '99 when we got promotion from League One. Promised you, it's happening. It's absolutely happening.
Hi, I'm David Chisnall from ITV Granada sports correspondent. Well, we're obviously here at Wembley covering the Manchester invasion here down at London. A huge day for the city, the Reds and the Blues. We've been covering so many families. Do you know, I didn't realise how many families, how many businesses are so split between Reds and Blues. It's phenomenal. We were speaking to mums and sons who are Reds, dads and sons and daughters who are Blues. It's absolutely fantastic. It's gripped the city. It's split the city. But you know what? I think there's a friendly rivalry here as well. I think everyone's going to have a great day here. Well, I suppose not everyone's going to have a great day here, to be fair. At the end of it, someone's going to go home unhappy. But do you know what? Sun's shining. We're here at Wembley. Manchester, history's going to be made, isn't it? It's great.
You cover a lot of sport. Is this as big as it gets?
I think so, yeah. I was going to say, to have both Manchester teams here. We've had Merseyside derbies, of course, back in the 80s, all FA Cup finals in Merseyside teams. The first time ever. It's all Manchester, so this really is as big as it gets, I think, for this. And because there's so much riding on it as well, it's not just the FA Cup, there's also the added factor of City going for the treble, and it's United who've done the treble, United who can stop them doing the treble, United going for the double as well. There's just so much more than just local rivalry.
Are you allowed to have an opinion?
Who I think's going to win? No, I've got to stay neutral throughout. I think City are going to win. Sorry, United.
Just tell me what today means to you.
Everything. It's a next step to the treble, and if we lose this, then heartbreak.
A lot of people are saying it's about the treble, but it is still an FA Cup final against United, isn't it? Is that not more important?
Yeah, it is, but we're thinking about the treble now.
What about you? Same?
I feel a bit nervous because it's like you never can predict a derby. It can either go 2 ways, so I'm a bit on edge. But I feel like if we play like we did against Madrid, they'll have no hope. We'll batter them.
If this was Brighton in the final, you'd be a lot more confident, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%. There's nerves, but then there's also the focus is on the treble rather than the derby. United and City, when they play now, it's not as big as what it used to be because of how big City have become. So, yeah, the focus is on the treble, not the derby.
What's it like for you? Have you got loads of City mates, or are they all United mates?
I've got a few United, but mostly City.
And are you going to give them stick if we win?
Yeah, 100%.
What's everybody feeling then? What's your instinct to win?
Yeah, 100%.
You've got to go for a win, haven't you? 2-1.
We'll leave the best to the last.
What are you saying?
I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1. We'll take that. Have a good day, people.
Thank you. See ya.
Nervous? Yeah, a bit nervous, yeah. It's a game against The Rags, can I say that? Don't like playing them at the best of times. A, because it's a derby at the end of the day. Nobody wants to lose a derby. Come on, you City!
Are you more excited about this being an FA Cup final or one step towards the treble?
As a Man City fan, this is going to come as a shock, but I wouldn't even give two hoots if we never win the Champions League. That is my personal opinion. That's a Mickey Mouse Cup. You get relegated in that cup, going to another cup, win that, like Seville, every year. So I don't really give a monkey's about the Champions League. Never watch it.
So this is the big one for you.
This is the big one. I want a double, he wants a treble.
Well, here we are, Wembley, for the Emirates FA Cup final. 100th anniversary of Wembley finals. What do I think today? Extra time, Man City win. Gundogan.
What are the cliches there? You've played here. Is it energy sapping? Is it different when it's a cup final?
Yeah, well, I think 3 o'clock kickoff makes it kind of the hottest it's going to be today. Fortunately, there's a bit of cloud cover, but the occasion itself is enough emotionally and mentally to sap you. You'll probably see at the beginning loads of energy, then it will peter out, and then all of a sudden the game head gets fully into gear, and then towards the end, of course, the emotions start rising again, especially if it's a close game, and they tend to be close games in cup finals. So yeah, some teams have other things to consider as well. One team only has one more game this season, it's all over.
How's it going to play into this, the fact that City are going for the treble and United are trying to stop them?
Well, I think United will come hard at the beginning. The indications are they're going to have the strongest side available. I think Ten Hag said that yesterday in his press conference. And for City, basically, hoping that they've got a very strong side, not necessarily the strongest side, will just be able to suck up all of that United pressure to start with, get into their flow. I think it's going to be extra time. I can't see it not being extra time. But if it isn't, then maybe Gundogan scores early.
Yeah, it means the world, to bring the FA Cup after 30 odd years for Man City, and now seeing winning multiple leagues here again in a derby for the first time. It's exciting. I think Man City will have too much for Man U today, but I think it'll be a great atmosphere, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
What does it mean to you being so in demand? Everybody wants to speak to you.
No, it don't. I mean, I have fun. I enjoy football. I love what I do. It's not about being in demand. It's just about loving the game, and that's what I do.
We love watching you.
Cheers.
They're just announcing the teams now, so we're getting nearer and nearer to kick-off, and it's getting very exciting. But one thing I haven't forgotten today, if anybody's watched any of my videos in the past from Wembley, is that on Cup Final Day, I bring this scarf with me. It was knitted for me by my mum in 1976 for the League Cup final, and ever since then I've brought it to every single final that I've ever attended, which is basically every one of them. I'll be taking it to Istanbul next week. It's sentimental. Win, draw or lose, it keeps me safe, and it means that I don't forget my mum. Hopefully it brings City a little bit of luck as well today.
I thought we started off like house on fire, and the goal was unbelievable. Was it 18 seconds? Unbelievable. But to be fair, we let them come back into the game. I didn't think it was a penalty, but obviously I'm saying that, being a blue. It is what it is, but I think over 90 minutes we'll pull through.
You're still confident then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
fantastic. Second part of the triathlon. Third part of the triathlon is next week. Istanbul, we are pulling. Oh.
That's fantastic. Drink it in. Absolutely amazing.
Were you nervous? I was.
Nah, it was always going to be a win. Simple. Champions. Especially against them as well. They deserve it. 2 down, 1 more to go.
It's so much sweeter against United, isn't it?
It was harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm glad we got it on it. Jordy Stone! Jordy Stone!
I thought it was easy, quite honestly. Very little opposition. They offered nothing. We were you never nervous? Not really, no.
You don't think about any fingernails left?
No, I'm alright. We've played very well within ourselves. On to the next one. Excellent afternoon.
A hard battle. Grit and determination, not really what I thought it would be, but yeah, immense, amazing. A bit mind-blowing really, Ian.
I mean, this team is something else, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I never could have... My dream was one of these in my lifetime. There's been a lot of it, yeah, fantastic. Hopefully the same next week, wonderful.
Ilkay Gundogan scored 2 last year against Aston Villa. He scored 2 today. He's some captain, isn't he?
Amazing. We got to keep him, got to sort a deal out. Yeah, amazing captain. Not got enough good words for him.
Is he going to have next week, the treble?
Yeah, it's on.
Beating United at Wembley, I never thought I'd see a final City United in my life, so seeing us actually beat them, they were terrible. That made it worse. We're miles better than them. We deserve to win by more, really. Gundogan's just been the best. For me, he's been the player of the season along with Haaland. He's been brilliant in the last few weeks. So yeah, man of the match easy, but thank God it was the most nervous half hour in my life. But they just kick and rush. They were rubbish.
What does that leave the treble?
I don't believe in the treble. That's a United thing. Stick to our own history. I don't want to match theirs. I want our own. However that comes.
It's absolutely brilliant, Ian. It wasn't the best performance, but it's a cup final and anything can happen in a cup final, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm so happy. But one more win next week. Fly out Friday, got my ticket, I'll be there. And follow that, you know yourself, I've met you loads of times. Born in Manchester, raised up in Scotland.
You do a lot of miles here, don't you?
I do, I love it. I never change it. Never. And this means, like everybody else, doesn't matter where you're from, you live 10 minutes for the 800 or 100 miles away, whatever it's, 1,000 miles away.
This is your reward.
This is it. This is what it means to me. It's brilliant and I love it. And what a team, do you know what it's like? In my lifetime, I'm going to be 31 in July. I've never seen a team like it. Never. And people back home like, what do you think of the Man United treble team? I was a young lad, I never seen it. But I'm going to beat them. They're rotten. They're absolutely rotten. But I did, absolutely buzzing. And I hope you enjoyed the day as well.
Oh, I did.
Emirates FA Cup 2023.
Played in the final in 81 and you didn't come out on the winning side. Today it's completely different, isn't it?
Say that again.
It's completely different today than 81.
Oh, yeah, no, it's different when you're watching as well. It's better playing than watching, I have to say. The nervous for the last 5-10 minutes, although it was apart from the one that hit the top of the net on the bar, it's a comfortable game.
It hurt me back in 81. It must have hurt you. Is today any sort of repaying for that?
fan. I'm just enjoying watching the team. I've been here to quite a few of the finals now, and my two boys are City fans, so it's a great time.
They're going to win the treble.
I certainly hope so. I'd like to think this will give them. I thought this was a tricky one today, and I'm hoping next week it will be one an achievement battle.
Well, I'm mentally and emotionally exhausted after that. Thanks, Mum. Scarf did the trick again. It's going to Istanbul, and what a journey it is at the moment being a City fan. Dickoff, before Paul Dickoff, memories of '99. I was here for that as well. What a contrast, beating Manchester United at Wembley in the FA Cup final, potentially on the way to winning the treble. Does it get any better than this? I don't think so. You know what? Let's all say it together. Isn't it great to be a Blue?